change right now, Trinbago's dying. We hear the people shout, crying a stronger UNC, it's stronger TNC.
Good evening to some of the strongest soldiers of the United National Congress that I've ever had the pleasure to meet. Give yourselves a round of applause here. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who know me know that Naparima, Barrackpore, is my second home, my second political home. So I am no stranger to this crowd. This is a place where I feel most welcome. It is a people that I connect very, very strongly to, and I'm very happy to be here to address you this evening. And I bring up that this is a second home to me because when Mr. Rodney Charles became the Member of Parliament for Naparima in 2015, in the election in 2015, I started to work with him and his office in about 2016. And from then, I became aware of the struggles that the people of Naparima faced. I knew what it was like for you to understand poor infrastructure. I understood issues of flooding that plagued your communities. And I watched Mr. Rodney Charles go to Parliament every Friday, fighting to raise these issues. And time again, the people, the residents of Barrackpore, of Reform, that we struggled for basic needs and amenities. And I watched that go on for years. Come to 2017, and I become the Public Relations Officer of the United National Congress. And after that, I went into the Senate. And I had the pleasure of walking across Trinidad and Tobago with various councillors, activists across this country. And so I know the Moruga Tableland people very well, because before there was a candidate for Moruga Tableland, before we held Moruga Tableland in 2020, I was walking with you in 2018, 2019. Before we even had anybody to come out to say that is the candidate, we was trying to put things in place and put a structure in place to ensure that victory came to the UNC in 2020, which it did. And so that tells you that it is possible if you have hard workers and people in positions who are willing to do the work, you can get a good and positive result. And you know, a lot of people came to me and said, Anita, why now? Why do this now? Why have this conversation now? And it is because if not now, when? If not now, when? Am I supposed to stand here and tell you that I stand in service of people and mamagai you? Am I supposed to tell you that I understand that the solution to your flooding problem is a retention pond, and I understand that the solution to your infrastructure problem is to prioritize infrastructure works across the country, but I am doing nothing to actually bring that to you? You see, ladies and gentlemen, when you understand that service to people is service to God, that the people that you are in charge of, the people that you represent, that is where your heart is supposed to belong, you would have no choice but to stand here today. You would have no choice but to fight for the party that could bring the changes. And so we are fighting for the UNC. We are fighting for a better UNC so that we can deliver the policies that we know can make a difference. And I thought long and hard about what the message I needed to deliver here tonight. We have been on a campaign trail for quite some time. And even before that, we have been working towards a better United National Congress for a long time. But tonight I want to deliver a specific message, because I knew I was coming into the territory of the Princestown Regional Corporation. Because I knew I was coming into the territory of the activists of the Moruga Tableland constituency, that I had a specific message for you. I understand that we are in a space now where we are practicing a politics of fear. That so many persons are afraid to show their face in defense of a party that they love because they are afraid of being victimized. And I understand that there are those of you who, when that slate on the other side was announced, you looked at it and you knew You know who the people are. You know how they come into your community. You know how they treat you. Princess Tong, I am talking to you directly right now. You know the treatment you get. You know that they take people who work hard for this party and they look down on them. That you know that they take people who have worked for years for this party and they'll pass you straight until they need something from you. You know who the people are if you needed to walk tomorrow in your constituency who you could call, and it's not one of them. And I could guarantee you that. You know who from 2019, there are people who came out here to help you, and there are people who came out to take the credit, and I know you know the difference. I know you know the difference. And so, my message to the councillors, the aldermen, the activists who cannot be here today, not because your heart tells you you don't belong here, but because fear is holding you on the other side. I am telling you, on June 15th, it is between you and your conscience. Rodney spoke about it. The national executive is supposed to be the body that decides the candidates that will represent you. That is serious business. It means your hopes and dreams lie with a committee that is supposed to look after your interest. They are supposed to tell you that when we sit down there as a committee, if I know I am screening a candidate for Naparima, I am screening a candidate for Tabakit, I am screening a candidate for Princess Tong, I am screening a candidate for Maruga Tabala, they are supposed to tell you what they are coming to do for your community. The screening committee is supposed to ask you, what is your plan to develop the area you are hoping to represent? They are not supposed to ask you who you vote for in the internal election. That's not their business. That is not your business. They are supposed to ask you, what are you going to do to improve the lives of, firstly, the people of the UNC, and secondly, the people of the constituency. But that is never on their mind. Because the screening committee, as it stands right now, is a committee to ask you who you vote for in an internal election. But you have an opportunity to change that. On June 15th, if you know right now fear is holding you in a corner, on June 15th you could change that. The UNC is a great party. It is a great party because we have a one-man, one-vote system. So they could come, all the members of parliament line up as they are, and they could show up in front of the councillors and say, listen, you must do this. But they could only say that. They can't do anything. There is nothing that they can do to any of you. So when we tell you you can go into the polling booth and vote for the praying hands, we are telling you vote for your future. There is hope for a better United National Congress. There is hope for a United National Congress that is built on inspiration. There is hope for a United National Congress that when you see the candidate, you could feel proud. You know that person is coming to work for you. Because the role of the representative is not to follow around people like a bandwagon. It is not to pick up and go anywhere they go. It is to follow you around. You, the members that they represent, it is to know your interest. You are the person they must be trying to see. Right now, as the party stands, everybody figures in order to get a position, one person has to see you. The United Patriots of the UNC is saying in order to get a position, many people must see you. And if you understand that you are a hard worker, if you know that you bring value to people, if you know that what you represent is strong ethics, good working values, then we have a space for you. We have a space for you here if you are ready to work for people. But I can tell you, I have heard the cries of people. All across this country, people are crying out and praying for change. People are crying out for something different, a better political product. They want us to be serious people. They want us to have important discussions. No more silly politicking on the platforms. They want us to do better, and we can do better and be better. And it all starts on June 15th. And so when we take ourselves to the polls on June 15th, understand, members of the UNC, Trinidad and Tobago is dependent on you. They have already accepted that the PNM is bad. We already know the ills that our nation faces. But what they want now is something to vote for. We have the chance to make the UNC something that people will vote for, and it is in your hands, and I urge you to take that step very, very seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, for far too long, the message has been that you do not matter. For far too long, the message has been that the few are greater than the many. For far too long, we have been told that the power of the United National Congress is at the top, and one person will take us somewhere, and they'll take us somewhere. And so far, they have taken us absolutely nowhere. And so now, on June 15th, show them that you have the country at heart, and you have the UNC at heart. And on June 15th, we urge you, vote for the praying hands. I thank you.